You're live. The Morning Gardener Show. We are still having rain in Baltimore, Maryland. It's still raining. And I looked at the forecast. It's going to be cool tomorrow, cool the next day. And then as soon as it hits Tuesday, the rain starts again all the way into Friday. Why are we getting so much rain? So it's happening. Uh, I've I'm not going to say I gave up on my tomatoes yet, but I went out today, early this morning, and I picked some squash, onions, had me something like a little bit of olive oil. I like to, do little simple things like olive oil, a little bit of, a little bit of Mrs. Dash, and onions and garlic, and it was really good. But what happened was I looked over at the tomatoes, and I said, um, I'm not going to step all through the garden because the garden's completely wet. So I'm not going to do that. What's up? What's up? All right. I love it when people pop in and they say hello. Uh, but the thing about it is, my main focus right now is on the fall garden. I pretty much There were some cucumbers out there. I left them up there because I want them to get a little bigger. There's some big tomatoes out there, but they're still green. I wasn't going to pick them. Um, the peppers, uh, with this weather, let me tell you what's happening. I started these peppers back in the third month of this year. They've been growing ever since. They're still growing. The plants are getting larger, but the peppers are far and few in between. So I don't know what to tell you about those. I've given them plenty of nourishment underneath of them. Cow manure. I've given them my plant power booster. I gave it all to them, and they look great. The plants are healthy. They're strong. Uh, the power booster works best on the fruit trees, if you ask me. Um, the trees are huge this year. I can't believe how big my trees are now, and it's got me worried because when I look at them and see how thick those branches are, and the fact that I'm growing more trees than fruit. Oh, hello, hello. Uh, when I see that, I'm thinking, and I know that they're dwarf trees because I hope that they're dwarf, but I've never seen trees grow so fast. But the power boost that I put underneath them has really got them going. And so I'm going to keep using that. It's a great stuff. You make it yourself. You can make it for a little of nothing, just some weeds and rainwater and cow manure, and pretty much that's it. And you let it just sit in a. I use a big 35-gallon container. I have some videos up. If you look for it, I think it's under Power Your Soil. Uh, but if you look through mine, it's one of the more recent videos, and it's got it's just a dark liquid you make. You're just basically making a tea. Uh, I have to agree with you. Nature has been, extra green. Is extremely green this year. I mean, it's really crazy what has been happening with the weather. I like, I like to think that rain's a good thing, but when you get too much of it, um, it's crazy. Everything's growing now outside. Everything's growing. The weeds are growing out of control. I can't get out there because the ground is completely saturated. I was going to go out there and cut the grass today, but as I was walking the grass, I could hear the water sound, and I said, "Uh oh, this is not good. Don't." Uh, it's just I don't know what to think of it, but I do know that I'm going to hang in there. I'm going to pay attention to everything in that garden. I'm going to watch the corn is looking great. I meant to mention that the corn is looking great. It's just after this rain, the corn just said, "Hey, I'm coming out and I'm ready to start producing some ears." They're growing in containers, by the way. I just thought I'd try them this year in containers. Um, Apples, I found three apples completely hollowed out by some kind of insect. I don't know what insect did that, but they hollowed it out. They took the inside almost out. Um, but the raspberries are coming on. Uh, it's just and when you start your garden up at the beginning of the year, if you even give a thought to what effect is the weather going to have on your garden this upcoming year, and you have to be mindful of that because you can have all the plans you want, you can have the seeds, and you did everything, and you crossed all your T's and dotted your I's, and you did everything. Let's see, what's the rest of that? Morning garden show, okay? And you do that, and what will happen is the weather could throw you for a complete loop. Like this year, like I said, a lot of my seeds I started on the third month of this year, and it was really a fight keeping them going because it was so cold. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you. Um, the thing about it is, when I saw everything going, I said, okay, I'm on time. I started everything early this year, um, and got everything going. And I had these big tomato plants that were indoors. It was hard to keep track of them because it just kept. Thank you for all the thumbs up. Thank you. I appreciate it. Uh, I saw all of the the plants doing extremely well because they were fed very, very well. Here's what took place. As it came into May, and I'm about to start in the middle of May, I'm going to put them out. It was still cold here. It was still cold. Thank you for the thumbs up. Um, and it just didn't pan out. Into June, it was still cold. Did not expect that. So I look at all the information that I have, and I know that this is not the right time to put out any of these seeds. Don't put your plants outside. It's just too cold. And so I forgot about that. And I said, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait and see what happens. So I kept them out in a shaded area. The shaded area is what you want to go to when you're putting seeds out anyway. I just naturally go to shade because I can keep them watered. They stay watered. And every day or every 2 days, you got to check these because they'll dry out and you won't even know it in your little starter pots. So now what I do is I just keep an eye on them and hope for the best, and keep them watered, keep them fed, and until the time to go in the ground. So I put them in the ground at the right time, and it started warming up, and then it dropped right back down to 80 degrees and dropped down to 70 some nights. And then the rain again. Like at the beginning of the year, we had a lot of rain, and we also now have a lot of rain again, and it's just crazy. I have a rosemary plant that I put in the ground, and I'm losing it because the rosemary doesn't care for a whole lot of water, and I'm losing it. And I'm thinking, oh, here we go, you know. And I'm thinking it's going to stop raining. And then I looked at the forecast this week, and it said rain expected Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, next week. Right in the next week, it's going to rain again. So I'm a little challenged here. I'm not looking at it like I'm a beat up or I'm losing out on this crop. But I gotta say this has been a tough year for me. I want to hear from some of you out there. Have you had a tough year? Because I'm seeing videos where I don't know where these people are, but their crops are beautiful. They got everything going, and they got some of them had raised beds and that sort of thing, and they're doing absolutely great. It's like where they live, there's no bad weather that's affecting them at all, and so I think that's what they're doing is giving you you know they're giving you the wrong information. I think because everywhere I'm looking on this tube of mine, which is my television, some of you know what I mean when I say that. Um, they there is bad weather, rain, too cold, rain and rain and rain. You've seen some of the pictures if you've been watching the television set. They show some places in Maryland where the cars are floating down the street. Homes are completely destroyed because of water. So when this is going on, I'm thinking, well, this is not my fault that things are growing kind of weird right now. Um, it's just been kind of crazy. This weather is up, down, up. It's extreme, and so that's what we're dealing with right now. Heat wave. Yeah, mosquitoes here. There is a lot of them. That's what I'm dealing with. A lot. So I've actually been online looking up mosquito traps and found very little that makes me feel good about owning something like that. Because they really don't work that well. Um, they have things that will trap flies, but when it comes to that mosquito, there's not a whole lot that they have that will trap that son of a gun. I mean, you can get a couple of them, but you will not make a dent in them if you have a property that that has standing water on it, or that there's some reason why they're there other than the fact that they just like the way your yard looks. There's a reason why the mosquitoes are there, because they come there to eat. Yep, that's what my rosemary is doing. It's wilting, and it looks like dying. And it's just like all the shoots are now brown, past the point of any green. They look like they're gone. Oh, okay, okay. Well, that's all right. Okay, sounds like somebody's having some good luck with their crops and all. But I have some watermelon plants out there, a moon and stars. That was given to me by one of the people, Garden Rebel. Gave me some seeds, and I appreciate that. I wish I could get on the line one day and find out what uh, moon and stars variety that is, because when I go look at the catalog, there's like more than one different type of moon and stars. But he gave me some seeds, and they started growing beautifully, and they're still growing beautifully. I don't see any melons right now, but melons can be hidden in weeds and grass and that sort of thing. But I'm just having a good time with the garden. But I'm in a mode now. Like I said earlier, I'm waiting to get into the fall garden. That's what I'm waiting for. The fall garden is where I'm headed at, because collard greens and kale, and I'm doing tree kale this year, and I'm waiting to get this started. Um, we're just coming into what's going to be August very soon, and once we get into August, what is that weather going to be like? Because I use I used my mindset says to not start the collard greens and kale too soon, because it's a cool weather crop. So I don't want to do anything too fast. But I'm going to get something started, and I hope that all of you do the same thing and keep putting those videos up, because everyone can learn something. If you got an open mind, you can still learn from other people. I don't care how long you've been mosquito rings, netting. Okay, like netting bugs and that sort of thing. I'm not familiar with it, but I will look it up, because my backyard would be a joy if I didn't have mosquitoes in it, because I'm not harassed by too many bugs other than mosquitoes in my yard. Um, Everything else seems to be, no chickers or anything like that. Just mosquitoes. So I'm happy that I have the ability to be able to grow food, and it's just great. It's just that I'm working hard for it this year because of all the. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. I just want to let everyone know that it just gets better. The weather might shape up and start doing what it's supposed to do, but everything else is growing great except for the rosemary. I'll put it that way. And if any of you grow fruit, I am interested in some ideas to be able to keep my fruit from being eaten up by, especially my peaches and my apples. My peaches and my apples right now, but I'm pretty sure when my plums come on, I don't want to use any kind of uh, chemicals that are not natural. I don't want to do that. That's one thing I don't want to do. No. Okay. That's pretty much. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because the only thing I'm using right now for mosquitoes is off, and I hate that stuff because I keep thinking these chemicals are going inside my skin, and I don't like that. Okay, there we go. Morning garden show. Okay, I just want to keep every once in a while I'll put my ad out there, morning garden show, because I really love the fact that so many of you know about me, and I know about you, and I absolutely go to your channels and I look at things that you've done, and but I want to see somebody pull in some really big crops this year. I mean, some big melons, some some you know baskets of cucumbers and things like that. I know the farmers have that ability to do it because farmers basically uh, they produce large volumes. So when they have a bad crop, it might be some small ones, but for the most part, they get a whole bunch of big items, and they go ahead and sell them and make their money. But when you have a garden, how do you maximize what you're actually producing? How do you grow big uh, pieces of vegetables and also grow large quantities of those vegetables? I don't think you need a lot of space because I once did it. Um, and what I was doing at that time, I was using fish emulsion. I was using lots of compost, and I'm still using my compost. But the only thing I added to what I'm doing right now is weed tea. Weed tea is what I added, and it absolutely is a definite benefit to uh, to what you're doing, and that's what I love. I mean, you could absolutely get the thing done. Oh man, I love it. I'm just thinking about gardening right now. I just went into my own world thinking about how am I going to keep on gardening with this weather like it is, and 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 and, and I just love it. I just love it, and I just love it. I mean, it's just my joy to be able to do um, what I do, and to have so many of you take that journey with me. And I'm so happy. Some of the things I've read on in your comments, and people say Napoleon, uh, you know, you're the morning gardener, and I appreciate what I've learned from you, and it's just a great thing, So I love it. I love it, and I'm going to keep on doing it because it's peaceful. It's when I walk through my garden. I mean, it feels like I'm in a park for one thing. Got the trees around me, and the trees are now getting larger and beautiful. They all surround me. There's about 25 trees I have. And then I go down and look at the cucumbers, and I look at the peppers hanging off the plants, and I look at the I'm eating as I go along. When I say have abundance of fruit, um, for some reason the blackberries I did something where they're not producing anymore. I know I cut them back real hard during the winter. I cut them down to the ground. So time they come up and it's time to go back, and so they don't produce anything. But the plants, my blackberry plants are huge now. They're over 17 feet long for the most part, and the raspberries surround one of my pear trees. They started coming up around the pear tree, and so I let them come up because I said, no, let them do their thing. and I eat the raspberries here, and then I go over to the blueberries. They're not ripe, but they don't get real big. They're about like this. They don't get real big for some reason. I think it's variety. I got the tall bush of varieties, but they don't get very big. This has been the Morning Garden Show. Thank you for everything.